the year. It was so long ago I can hardly remember. I believe it was the year minus 13,900 dr. Yes, so long ago. My father was just a simple dark elf at the time. But the sect he followed venerated Lilith. And my father was a sacrifice given to her freely. Lilith ripped his soul out, and with her own essence she took a part of herself and mixed it with the soul of the dark elf. It was the first spark of consciousness I would taste, and it was pure freedom. Little did I know what was to become of me. It was not until I was forced into a shell, a body, and bound to it, that I would begin my life. As a young growing dark elf in this time, I found life easy. We had made great strides in medicine, technology, and magic. We had even combined all three. We were at our magic and cultural height. The female I loved would smile at me every day, and my studies took up the rest of my time. It is said no drow has ever felt safe and loved, nor that we even know what it means, but I remember that feeling of love and the light that touched my skin, that caused no pain, nor stole my power. I was a respected leader soon, and given my own guards which to train and protect the dark elves. My Illithiri brothers and sisters, I was made to protect and serve them after all. Though my true brother and sister watched me all the time, and I would not come to know them till much later. Every day I got up and went to the library to study magic, and after the training grounds where I was taught to fight with the sword as almost all elves were, it was here I fell in love for the first time. She was tall for a Illithiri, and she moved with grace and power, but she was soft at heart and kind. She would smile every day as I walked past, dressed to fight and standing tall. She was at every sparring match, and then the day came. I could no longer just let her watch me. I went to her and smiled. "My lady, may I introduce myself?" She smiled and turned away, saying, "I don't know, can you?" She was playing with me, and I could see it, and I was more than happy for the case, for at heart I was a hunter. "My name does not matter to one like yourself. It is but a small thing. I offer it freely for you to use as you wish. It is Ilag Ariak Doradal, and if ever you need me, just call and I will be there." She smiled and began to walk away, stopping only once to call over her shoulder, "My name is Lilantine Verum. You may have a call from me, warrior." I saw her walk off, and at that point I knew I would give myself to her and done all I could. She called me for guard duties. At what I had no clue was her family's home, and to escort her from place to place out of our lands. I was her champion, and for a while I was happy. For many months I followed her devoted. Then the day came she wanted to go out to the fields for a ride, and was to take a small group with her. 3 children and herself, with a guard of 5 and myself. It was a wonderful day, and we all stopped to get a drink and cool off at the river. That is where we were attacked. I cannot recall how many it was. Just that we were plainly outnumbered. The children, my fellow guards, and then finally my love. Lilantine was slain horribly, before my eyes, and they saved me for last. So I could watch. As they slit her throat and beat me, something snapped, all went black as night and then red. When I came to, they were dead, every one, and I stood covered in blood, laughing, my mind shattered, my heart crushed, my hope gone. I wandered back to tell what had befallen us and to get my revenge. The time after that I don't recall how long it lasted. War broke out between the elves of every elven nation. The Sun Elves attacked our lands in small bands, and I would guess now that we did the same. I did not care, to be honest. I do remember that they attacked and almost destroyed the wild elves. What happened that day I will leave out of my records. The war raged on as the sides of both employed more and more might. Spells of unheard of might laid waste to so much, most of which never recovered and left odd things in their wake. Places that no creature could go and return from. clouds of gas and creatures not of this or any world known. In the end the Aravandaran or Sun Elves brought their greatest mages together at once and cast a spell. No, it was a ceremony like no other before seen. It laid waste to all our lands and killed without regard. I did not know at the time, but that would be their downfall as well as my own people. Our lands now broken and our spirits all but destroyed, we were to have insult added to injury, as the god Corellon lost his favor of them and cursed all my people. Our very nature was changed. And we were no longer elves, we were twisted. Our eyes were stricken useless by the life-giving sun, our skin was made as dark as obsidian. It made us weak and feeble and were hunted to no ends. It was a voice from far away that saved us. It was faint but called to us all the same. It led us below to the dark and the shadows. Here no light reached. We traveled in the absolute darkness and many were lost on the way. We were led, however, by the voice. We had nothing left after all and had no choice but to press on or give in and die where we were. It was a long time we wandered, some even split into their own groups going off, they said, to find a better way. Deeper farther down we plunged. The group I had followed continued on their path, and as we went our bodies continued to change. Why, no one really knows, not even myself, though I have a theory. There in this place was a substance known as Firas. It has an odd radiation to it which can change things. It has been in my studies for some time now, and to this day I keep a small supply. But I digress. Our eyes had become as sharp as nothing before. Even in the absolute dark with no light we could see as if we were in daylight. We could make small, almost torch-like fires to lure prey, and some even learned to levitate. The most fearful of our powers, however, was the ability to create darkness. One like no other. It could remove light, blot out lanterns and torches. It was so perfect it stopped all ability to see even our own, and for the very adapt a hole so dark it consumed anything it touched. Which was fine for us who had grown used to being blind. We did not use the dark, we controlled it flawlessly, we were the dark. However, we had become wild and lived like animals without a home. When one of our own was weakened they were cast away. The voice, however, called and we followed it. Her name was Karash Nal Darin, and the first to hear the voice clearly. It told her that our suffering would not be in vain and that we will have our chance. That we had been led here to be made strong and that we could not just die. We asked its name and it replied not to have one, for she was cast away. As well her name taken and left alone. All my people could say was Lith. She seemed to approve of it and told us to continue and began to set rules for us to follow. Lith urged Karash to keep order and soon a ruling body was formed. Yet still we had no home. The Lady Karash was a wise female, and with Lith's guidance we were led to ever-growing caves. As we moved on the tunnels changed. They were worked with carvings of amazing skill. It seemed both natural and created by masters. I walked along and remembered then what was lost from our people. The social structure and stability it brought. It was then I had decided at that time this would be our new home. I did not care whose it was, just that is what we needed. The tunnel came to a large opening with a wall and large gates. We stilled ourselves for a new battle. One to survive. A fight for a new home. The world had shown us what it takes to live you must kill.